So you've built a beautiful Shopify store, but there's one big problem. Nobody can find it. Today, we are cracking the code on getting your store to that coveted front page of Google. It might feel like an impossible climb, but I promise you, there's a repeatable blueprint that works. Let's dive in.
Let's kick things off with a number that should honestly stop you in your tracks. 0.63%. What is that? Well, according to industry data, that is the tiny, tiny fraction of people who will ever bother to click past page 1 of Google's search results.
Which leads us to this really critical question. For an online store, if you're stuck on page 2 or 3 or, heaven forbid, page 10, are you even in business? I mean, you're practically invisible. The stakes are incredibly high. So the real question is, how do you break through all that noise?
Well, we're going to do it by following a story. Let's track the journey of a brand new store. We'll call them the Cozy Corner Candle Co. We're going to walk through the exact 5-phase playbook they use to go from being a complete unknown to a front page feature. This is their blueprint, and it can absolutely be yours too. You see, just like pretty much every news store out there, the Cozy Corner started with an amazing product. But they had that terrifying problem. They were completely lost in the digital ocean. This explainer is all about how they systematically went from being invisible to being totally unmissable. All right, let's jump into phase 1. I like to call this the Google handshake. Before you can even dream about ranking, you have to formally introduce your store to Google. You have to let it know you exist. This is the absolute, 100% non-negotiable foundation. First things first, you have to verify your store with Google Search Console. It's a completely free tool, and you should think of it as your direct hotline to Google. It's your SEO command center. Following these simple steps is basically you raising your hand and telling Google, "Hey, I'm here, I'm a real business, and I'm ready for you to take a look." Next up, you got to give Google a map of your store. Now, the great news is Shopify automatically creates one for you. You just find that URL, copy it, and paste it into Search Console. And please, I am begging you, double check that your store's password protection is turned off. It's the #1 mistake new stores make, and it literally puts up a giant brick wall that blocks Google from seeing a single thing. Okay, once that technical handshake is complete, we're moving on to phases 2 and 3. This is where we actually build the architecture of our digital store. We're creating clear aisles and bright signposts, so it's super easy for both your customers and for Google's little search robots to find exactly what they're looking for. The Cozy Corner team lived by a simple but incredibly powerful principle, the 3-click rule. All this means is that a customer should be able to get from your homepage to any product on your site in 3 clicks or less. That logical flow from homepage to a collection page to a specific product page, it just feels right to users. And it turns out, Google's crawlers find it really efficient too. Okay, look at this. This slide shows one of those tiny details that makes a massive, massive difference. That bad URL, it's just a meaningless jumble of letters and numbers. But the good URL, it's clean, it's descriptive, and it tells both a person and a search engine exactly what this page is about. And the best part, this is a super easy fix right inside Shopify settings. All right, let's talk about keywords because this is huge. They are not all created equal. You have look-around keywords, right? People just doing research. But for a new store, you need a laser focus on buy now keywords. These are the exact phrases people type when their credit card is practically already in their hand. Your mission is simple. Go after that commercial intent first. And hey, you don't need to shell out a bunch of money for expensive tools to get started. Just start typing your product ideas into Google and Amazon and look at what they suggest. That's what real people are actually searching for. Then go spy on your competitors a little bit, see what's working for them. You're looking for that long tail gold, those really specific 3 or more word phrases that signal someone is ready to buy now. So what do you do with all these keywords? You get organized. You create a simple keyword map, just like this one. You assign each page on your site a main, primary keyword, and maybe a couple of secondary ones. This is so important because it makes sure every single page has a clear job and you're not accidentally competing with yourself. So with our keyword map in hand, we are ready for phase 4. And this is all about optimizing the most important page on any e-commerce website, the product page. This is where the magic happens, where the sale is won or lost, and it has to be perfect for both people and for Google. I want you to think of this as your 3-second sales pitch right inside the Google search results. The title tag needs to be crystal clear and include your main keyword. Then the meta description needs to focus on a benefit, like relaxation, and give a super compelling reason to click, like offering free shipping. This is what makes someone choose your link over all the others. When you're writing the actual product description on your site, just follow this simple 3-part formula. First, lead with the experience. Don't just sell a candle, sell a moment of calm. Next, use bullet points for those key keyword-rich details, like vegan wax or 80-hour burn time. And finally, close with a sentence that builds trust in your brand and your promise of quality. Here's a quick win that so many people miss. Google is amazing, but it can't see your images. You have to tell it what they are. That's what alt text is for. So instead of the default file name, you write a short, descriptive sentence. This is also a critical feature for website accessibility, so it's a total win-win and a really powerful, simple fix.
You know, nothing builds trust like real, authentic customer reviews. And Shopify apps like Yotpo or Lux make them so easy to collect. But here's where the magic comes in. These apps also add a special little bit of code called schema to your page. Think of schema as a translator that tells Google exactly what's on the page, in this case, a product with a 5-star rating. This is what gets you those beautiful gold stars right in the search results, making your listing just pop off the page. Okay, on to the final phase. Once your store is technically sound and your pages are beautifully optimized, it's time to build authority. This is all about proving to Google that you're not just another store. You are a credible, trustworthy expert in your little corner of the world. And I want you to forget the myth that you have to be blogging constantly. Instead, I want you to focus all of that energy on creating one massive, super high-value pillar post. For the Cozy Corner, maybe this was the ultimate guide to candle scents for every mood. I'm telling you, one incredible resource is so much more powerful than 10 short, forgettable blog posts. Backlinks. You've probably heard of them. They're basically votes of confidence from other websites. And yeah, they're a huge ranking factor for Google. But you don't need to be some marketing guru to get them. Start simple. Send your product to a blogger in your niche for an honest review, or reach out to people who write gift guides and ask if they'd consider including you. These are genuine, relationship-based ways to start building that authority. And there it is, the complete 5-phase playbook, from that very first handshake with Google all the way to becoming a trusted voice. The success of our Cozy Corner Candle Co. didn't happen overnight, but it was built on these steady, repeatable actions. And that's the secret sauce right there. Consistency over time is what turns all this effort into real results. I absolutely love this quote from the source material because it just hits the nail on the head. Getting on the front page of Google isn't some dark art or a magic trick that only a few people know. It's a clear, logical process, and now you have the map. And that brings us to the end. The path is all laid out for you, from verifying your site all the way to earning that first backlink. The only thing left to do is to take action. So my question for you is this: what is the very first step you are going to take today to start your own journey to page 1?